Good afternoon. This is Ron Brown. It's October 4th, 2024. It's a little bit after noon. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I've been working on this week as far as the demand and supply scans. I call them my Wyckoff scans because his methodology was based upon supply and demand, and HGSI gives us the tools where we can get some visuals on this. So anyway, Wyckoff scans and charts and HGS Investor scanning for demand and supply. I've made some additions and modifications. Therefore, you have to delete my charts and scans before updating the add-on. I'm sure if you've been a member for a while of the Insider Club, you know how to do that. But if not, I'll stop there briefly and show you what should be deleted. Like I said, this is a fourth, and always remember the market is your teacher. Standard risk disclaimer, I'm not going to read it except for this down here. Any stock index or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. You can try the software for free at highgrowthstock.com. You don't have to enter your credit card. You can just download the software and give it a try. This is the front page of the PDF file, which you can download by going to under the help menu. You go to the member services, and I'll just go ahead and do it. And you'll find the investing club here, and you can download the newsletter. Now, I haven't put up the October newsletter yet. I will do that after I do the video. And you can just download the PDF file if you want all of the videos that are listed on here. Once again, it's under the help menu. It's member services down at the bottom. You'll find the Insider Club, and the October newsletter will be up there. You can just click on that link, and it will get you the latest version of this, which is will be converted to a PDF file. Now, also this month, I've changed the link to October for the add-on files. I'm changing it every month now because if people no longer subscribe, they shouldn't have access to the latest videos. I'm sorry, the latest files, not videos. So I'm changing this every month, and there is a new link. Now, when I send this out to the Insider Club, I will include the link and the most recent videos. This is the video that I'm recording right now. That's why there isn't a link there. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Now, I have updated, I've made some modifications, just made it cleaner to use. And if you will download, I should have pointed this out, download the Wyckoff Demand Supply Guidelines PDF. You'll get the updated version, and it's going to have the correct color of bars that are associated with these numbers. Now, these bars over here in the chart represent certain conditions which are based upon demand and supply, and I made my interpretations from the Wyckoff Demand Supply Guidelines. So each one of these bars over here, both on the demand charts and the supply charts, represents conditions that are met by my filters, which are up here in the Wyckoff demand and supply scans, which are located both in the essential warehouse views and also the top-down process scans, and under VPA gurus. These are different scans. These are the VPA scans, the Tom Williams scans, and the Wyckoff scans. These are the ones I'm working with now. And these scans, the results are represented with bars over here. I've explained that in the prior videos, but I just wanted to reinforce that. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to do a manual update. I don't like to have it running automatically when I'm doing these videos because it makes the videos pause at certain spots. So it takes about 30 seconds to update using Thinkorswim. And now I'm going to go into my designer. I want to get my industries up to date. So I'm going to just highlight the industries, go under tools and rebuild indexes in groups so that stock information, which I just downloaded, it's current, real-time quotes. So I'm building these industry groups with the latest data. Get that out of the way. And now, before I apply these scans, I want to point out that I have made some changes with the scans. Not the essential part of the scans, but for example, I've put another view in here on each of these. This is the end of day. This is the intraday based upon the number one scan, which is demand, higher volume, wider spread. And then here's the intraday. And then on each of these, I put a 1B in here. I call these wider spread trends, or these are the trends associated with the intraday. So for example, on intraday here, I can see that Chanson International, which I've never heard of, is up 117% today. It's a $6.60 stock, and I can quickly move down to 1B from 1A, and the order of stocks will stay the same. And I'm going to do that right now, and you can see it's still number one, but I have all the information on the trends right here. This is from yesterday. VPA volume was very high, the spread was wide, and it closed in the middle. The best fit, the VPA trend long is up, medium's up, short-term trend is down, but the EMA fan trend is up. So that just tells me that it is a trending stock which had a short-term pullback, but now it's up huge today. I put this in for my own information, but I thought I would add it and share it with subscribers so you can get a quick read on what these stocks are doing as far as trends. So let's just bring this up and look at this. There's got to be some very heavy news on here. But notice this stock came up yesterday, or it would not be included in the intraday today, and it came up yesterday. How do I know that? Because there is a dark green bar right here, which indicates that the demand was showing up yesterday. It closed in the middle, but there was heavy demand, but nothing like demand today. Look at this volume spike today. I have to go here and bring this up. And this volume was heavy yesterday because it's above the average moving average line. But today it's just totally overwhelming it. The look at this, 9,300% volume over the average 90-day volume. So there has to be major news on this stock. Okay, let's take a look at one of the places to get recent news CHS in is to go into Thinkorswim. Look at this thing. Earnings on 10/7 before the market. So that's on Monday. Click on in for news. It just says there is a circuit breaker halt. No news on it. So I don't know what's going on. But what's interesting is it came to the top of the list based upon the combo ranking. What I did is I put this trends on every one of these. This is the end of day. This is the intraday. And on the trends, I'm using the same filter and combo, you can see that the stocks do not move. So if I want to see what Dawson Geophysical, what kind of trends it has, I can just click on 2B and I know that it's going to be in the same position. Send number 3 on here. Send number 3 on here. And the long-term or the VPA trend is down. The medium and the short-term are up. The fan is down. So this is probably a stock that's been in a downtrend and it's turning up now. Let's take a look at it. And I'm going to minimize this and look at the weekly chart also. It's a very inexpensive stock, but you can see that on the weekly it's been going down and it's turning up right now based upon the trends right here, which are the VPA trends. These are mathematical calculations. Not a good example. It's just a very inexpensive stock. But let's go back up here to the demand, and I want to bring that guide up again. And the way I've got this set up, you'll get the feel for all of these colors, and there's only 5 on each side, both the demand side and the supply side. And if you scroll down to the second page of the PDF, it tells you what these mean. So on going back to this demand intraday, and let's see if I can, Mercer is a stock I'm somewhat familiar with, but you can see that looking at the VPA volume, this is from yesterday, above average, spread above average, and closed at its high. So this right here, not here, this is a weekly chart, I'm sorry. So this is a green bar, which is associated with the number 1 view. And you can use this PDF as a reference sheet. So under demand, increased price spread and volume equals demand, and it's a dark green bar. Now, wider spread on lower volume, lack of supply, is a light green bar. So if I go down to this right here, let's go to the intraday and click on that, you can see that the light green bar was from yesterday. This information is from yesterday, the scan, but you can see if this is following through today. If this is another bar green, another light green bar is generated, it means it's moving up on lower volume and lack of supply. Let's go down to the next one. Narrow spread, lower volume. Let's look at Home Depot on that one. So this would be yellow. Right here, number 3, yellow bar. Lower volume, high close, lack of supply based upon the prior day's candle. Now you can see that we're not getting a bar in here because none of the criteria for the bullish side are being met on Home Depot today. Let's see on the supply side. Nothing's generated there either. So certain conditions have to be met for a bar to appear, but once you get used to using this, you can go back and look at the history of a chart and see where the Wyckoff conditions, as we have available in HDSI, where those conditions are true. Now if you look at this, you'll see that there is a brown bar here and a blue bar here. And of course the yellow bar and the 2 green bars. Those are the conditions that are met, one of the three conditions that I scan for on the demand side. And they're explained here in this sheet. Same thing on the supply side, and it gives you the color. Now, since the last download, I have modified some of these colors, and everything works better now. So make sure that before you install the add-on, I want you to delete the old chart views and the scans. And let me show you quickly. I didn't mention this yet. So just go in, and where it says Ron Brown top-down analysis charts, just hit the delete key on the warehouse views. Choose create view right here, and just delete anything with my name on it. Just highlight that, click delete before you install the add-ons, and that way you're going to have the latest up-to-date scans and views, and there will be nothing overlapping. By that I mean if you just install the add-on over the other older add-on, there may be some confusion if some things are not removed that should have been removed. Now you can use these scans on anything. I have it on all securities right now, but if you want to, let's bring up my designer. Let's say you're interested in scanning, let's go to the custom groups, the top 50, the most recent, and click through to the warehouse view. And now I'm going to click on demand, so you can see that out of the 50 last night, 23 of them passed the demand criteria. Now, out of these 23 that passed, you can see that 21 of them are up today, and a lot of them are trading near their intraday highs. Let me close this down. So let's take a look at, let's just look at Datadog. I was going to put a position on here and I didn't do it, but here is the green bar, which corresponds to the demand, higher volume, wider spread scan. And what do we have today? Well, let's get this out of the way. And I have a light green bar, so I can reference this. This tells me it's a wider spread on lower volume, which means lack of supply. So here's your wider spread and volume. This is projected volume. Here's the current volume. It's based upon that right now, so it's lower volume, wider spread. So it tells me on Datadog that demand is continuing today. Now you can see it gapped open, traded down, and started moving back up. Now if I go down to 1B, Datadog tells me that the trends are up, up, up. Fan is not up yet, and it's not down either, so it's kind of stuck in the middle. So I have a chart right here that I put in, bar charts with EMAs, and it shows me what my moving averages are doing. You can see the 3 is above the 6 right here. There's a crossover, but the fan is not in place yet. These would have to be stacked with the 200 on the bottom, the red one, and then the 100, the black one, and then the 50 and the 18 for a fan to be in place. Now the fan was in place back here, and then it collapsed. The fan was in place. Well, no, it didn't get all the way down to a down fan, but it is not set up yet. But I can tell by looking at these trends here that this stock is moving on, because these VPA trends are all up, but the fan has not yet developed. Now you may or may not want to use that, but I find it useful. I stuck it in there, so it doesn't do any harm. It's 1B to quickly locate the trends. So getting back to this is the most recent 23. We're in the demand column. If I go down here to 2B, which is intraday today, this tells me that 5 of these were number 2, or the light green chart, or light green bar, I mean. And it shows me the trends. Let's just take here's APP. This has been strong a long time. Had a pullback here. But look at this. Look at these. This is why these charts are useful. First of all, you can locate these based upon demand when they're just starting to go. What's in this chart? This is dotted line is the industry group, and here's the crossover right here on an effort to rise. And you can see that there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row of the demand, and then it backed off just a little bit, not too much. Here's another demand scan. What's the blue bar? Let's take a look. Demand, but it's high volume, below average spread, high close, which means that it's in demand based upon the blue bar. And then we had a couple of pullbacks, but a no supply. And then the light green bar, looking at this, wider spread on lower volume, lack of supply. And then the yellow. So we can refer to the yellow, and you don't need to refer to these all the time. I'm just showing you this information here. It's a narrow spread, lower volume, high close, which means lack of supply. Now, without these bars, it would be really hard to read to figure out what is going on with each of these individual candles. Now let's go back a little further. Clear down here at the bottom, when the 3 was below the 6, you can see there's a light green bar, so there's some accumulation beginning here. Here, there is a signal, strength seen returning after a downtrend, and then it's confirmed the next day, but there's a high demand bar here, and then light green, lower volume, wider spread, and then another demand bar. And then it pulled back a little bit, and look what it pulled back with. It pulled back with the industry group. And then when the industry group took off, this stock took off also, or continued to go. Okay, let's do another one of these. Let's see what Meta's doing. It's up, 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 and the fan is in an uptrend. If you look over here, I have the intraday information over here on the trends. Once again, if I were to go back to the prior, it doesn't change. It's the same order because it's the same combo. Okay, here's Meta. So what do we have with Meta? Well, it's going up here. The group's kind of going up, and then it goes down with the group, and then the group starts going up before Meta goes up. But right now, it is showing the light green bar because I'm in wider spread on lower volume, and that's the light green bar. Now the yellow bar, that means narrow spread, lower volume, high close, lack of supply. So that's what it's telling us on these 2 bars right here. Here's your demand bar. Here's lack of supply before it starts moving up. All of these yellow bars mean lack of supply after the demand, and then a pullback here. But right here at the bottom of this pullback, what does this candle tell us? First of all, it came down and it rested on the 50-day exponential moving average line, the blue line, and it sold off. But buyers came in and closed it at its high. That's number 2, wider spread on lower volume, lack of supply. So the buyers were coming in. The crossover, let's see where the crossover occurred. Right here, after this first indication, and it's moved up quite a bit from that point. This is an expensive stock, but it would have been a perfect candidate at that point to either put on a debit or a credit spread, or just to buy calls if you want to lay out that much money. Personally, I don't, but you can see the value of these bars because it tells you what is happening based upon the individual bars. Okay, let's see if any of these others show up. Number 3. We're still in the top 50 here. So these are going to be yellow bars. You can see that. Yellow bar from yesterday. If I go to number 4, narrower spread, higher volume, high close. There's one there. And this is where we get this is a buyout, but this is where we get the brown bar. And let's see if there's anything on number 5. There is. Let's go to 5A. You can see that these are all up today. High volume, below average spread, number 5, and this should be a blue bar from yesterday. And there it is right there, and it's following through after that blue bar. So what I've done is I've gone to the top 50 stocks right here, HSI top 50, and it shows me at what level of demand or supply, it won't be supply on the top 50, but what level of demand each of these were at yesterday's close, and then you can see if they follow through or not. It's really powerful because we can see what is happening. What is this? Blue Owl Capital. Let's go down to the supply charts here. And you can see on the supply side when it was going down, these were the conditions that were met. And this is a rose bar. This is a light rose bar. So right here on the darker rose bar, wider spread on higher volume, supply is present. So this stock would have come up with this scan right here on that particular day. Okay, now I want to do something else. If you're interested, you can go to the optionable stocks here, 300 most active. Let's just go into the demand scans intraday. And there's that Datadog that I looked at already. It's at the top of the list based upon my intraday demand combo. APA, let's take a quick look at this. If you're interested in trading options, you can go in here, and I've got several other option folders set up in the program. So here's APA. This is an oil exploration and production stock, and you can see when the Mideast problems blew up the other day, money started flowing into oil stocks, and look what happened after a sharp move down. Look at the group turning up, and what do we have here? We have a demand bar right here, and not much a second in, then another demand bar. Nothing here because this was a slight pullback demand, and then the narrow spread, lower volume, higher close, lack of supply. Okay, now I want to do one more thing. I'm going to hit alternate space bar, and I'll apply the filter. I'm now back in all securities, but what I want to do is I'm going to update intraday now. Normally I have this running every 5 minutes and don't have to do this. There are so many things I can show you on how to apply this, and over the next several weeks I'll be doing that. But right now what I want to do is I want to show you money flow with this. I'm going to take the filter off, and I'm going to rebuild these tools, rebuild indexes and groups with the intraday data that I just updated. Okay, and then I'll get this out of the way. Now we're going to go up to my favorite daily prospecting scans, and we're going to go to intraday money flow. The sort is the percentage industries up, and I just rebuilt these industries, and I'm sorted on raw combo. And you can see that wealth management is at the top of the list. Other mine minerals, transaction management, specialty apparel, and so on. So this is the money flowing in today. Now I can just use the charts here and click on this on each individual stock, and it tells me what bars are generated, or shows which bars are generated, what the groups are doing, and what each bar means. This is yellow bar, narrow spread, lower volume, high close, lack of supply. Let's go down to Schwab. Now Schwab, I want to, okay, I'll just leave it on that. Okay, so this is Schwab. You can see that it is generating VPA flags, and we're getting Wyckoff VPA information here also. It's once again narrow spread, lower volume. If I get this out of the way, you can see that Schwab on the weekly chart has been under accumulation for quite some time. It's held support in this area, and the stronger hands are starting to take control of it, and we see it more and more over here. It certainly isn't trending yet, and it's way underperforming its group. Look at the group headed up. Okay, I'm going to bring up a quick pick. This is all securities, but what I want to do is I want to go to the sector stocks. You can see it cuts it from 1500 down to 160. So these are the stocks which are moving up based upon the industry percentage price change. Now I can flip through each one of these if I want to and get a read. See if there are any colored bars. Even though the money is flowing into some of these, are not doing that well. Or I can do this. I can take these 160 stocks where the money is flowing into these sectors, and I can make a group by holding down my alternate G key, and I'll just put these under user groups. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. Let's do this again. Sector, and this is and let's just make this group these stocks all have to be above 50% of their daily range to fall into the money flow in, or pass the money flow filter. So now that I have this in a group, I can go back down to my, I have to get out of my favorites here, and go down to the essentials, And now I can look at the intraday. This is last night, but I can see which of these stocks are continuing through today. They're not sorted on industry anymore. They're sorted by demand. But I know money is flowing into these stocks, and I can look over here at the range and see which ones are holding up the best, the ones that are trading on heavy volume. Let's take a look at Barnes Group. But this was yesterday at the close, high, above average, and mid. It crossed the 3, crossed the 6 yesterday. The VPOC, volume point of control, crossed the day before. Relative strength is not that strong. It's in fabricated metal and hardware, heavy volume today. Let's take a look at it. And you can see that there is a major gap up and an effort to rise. But there was no effort to rise yesterday, but the demand was there based upon the parameters of the scan. High volume, above average spread, and closed in the middle. You can see that, and you can see yesterday's high volume right here. It's dwarfed compared to today's volume, but it was above the moving average. So it appeared in this scan, but even better, it appeared the day before with the light green bar. And here's the weekly chart of it here. It's just trying to break past resistance today. There were positive VPA flags here, and now it's going. Let me bring the, if I can find it. Okay, here I am. So remember, all you have to do is come back and refer to this. Light green bar, wider spread on lower volume, lack of supply. I also have this here in the top of the chart, light green, wider spread on lower volume. So everything is right here at the top of the charts also. And there's got to be some good news on it. But my point is here, it was showing accumulation here, and then there was a down day, but not on very heavy volume. If I put the crosshair on this, look at the volume was below the 90-day moving average volume, and then the following day, volume increased a little bit, and this green bar came up. So it passed the filter, the number 2 filter on that day, and then it just took off. I realize we're looking at these in the past, but I hope you can see what I'm trying to emphasize here, the value of being able to see when these conditions over here are met, and how oftentimes they will appear when there is no VPA signal. But when you have both of them together, that's even a stronger signal. Okay, I'm going to do one more and then I'm going to stop. I'll just go up to the top here. Remember, this is money flow in today, but these scans were from yesterday. But Diamondback Energy had high volume, widespread, close was very high. It crossed over the day before yesterday, and the VPOC crossed over 3 days ago. And look at this. Here is a low volume test, a confirmation with an effort to rise, a dark green bar, gap up, no signal here because it's a black bar, but here's confirmation again yesterday and then following through again today, along with the group moving up. Let me move down to 1B here. And high, wide, very high. The trends, the VPA trends, long was down, medium was down, short-term trend was up as of last night. And if I click on this bar right here, it shows me the same information here. Down, medium, down, short-term was up as of yesterday. If I click on today, it's the same thing. So as you can see, you can get a lot of information out of these scans and charts. I've really just touched the surface of it. I'll be doing more in the future. And that's it. Have a good weekend. I put these videos out on Friday so I can use the intraday data. Plus, I like to keep my weekends free. So, thank you for listening. If you have any feedback, get back to me. But please try these out if you're an Insider Club member, because I think it's a tremendous insight into what's happening on individual stocks or ETFs. I'll get into the ETFs someday. But just play around. You can't hurt anything. And all of these scans, of course, have bars which represent what these scans do. Once again, have a great weekend. Thank you.